In our previous classes, we have studied about the various life processes like nutrition, respiration, transportation, excretion, and movements. And we have also done that these all life processes, these are occurring in the body simultaneously. It means definitely there is a coordinating system in our body that coordinate all these processes at the same time. This coordinating system is called central nervous system, or we can say central nervous system is a main part of this coordinating system. This central nervous system include brain and spinal cord. Why this is called central nervous system? Because this is present in exactly in the center of the body. This is the brain part, and running behind this is the spinal cord. It is like this. This is brain here. And then it runs as the spinal cord. This is our central nervous system. This is brain and this is spinal cord. Now these two organs of the body, these are very important organ of the body. Simultaneously, these are very delicate too. So this means they have to be protected by the body. Now what are the different protective mechanisms for our central nervous system? Let us see. First of all, there are three different layers around these. There are three protective layers that run around this central nervous system. Collectively, these three layers are known as meninges. Otherwise, their name are dura mater. The central one is the arachnoid mater, and the innermost is pia mater. This is one protection. Number two, there is a fluid between these membranes. This fluid is called cerebrospinal fluid. This is called cerebrospinal fluid because cerebro refers to the brain and spinal to the spinal cord. So this is called cerebrospinal fluid. You know that fluids, they are very good shock absorbers. So whatever delicate organs of the body are like lung, heart, brain, they are all surrounded by fluid. So cerebrospinal fluid, it protects our central nervous system. The third one. Can you give me the name of the third protective mechanism? I think this is quite obvious. It is skull for the brain and vertebral column for the spinal cord. Skull, or in skull we say the cranium part. And for spinal cord, it is the vertebral column. So you have seen that there are three protective mechanisms for our central nervous system. I think by this is clear to you that how important these two organs are for us. Now let us study the structure and function of the human brain. This is the structure of the human brain. All of you must have seen walnut, akhroot. The structure of our human brain can be exactly compared with that. We all know that walnut is having a very hard covering, so this can be referred to as the skull. And the structure inside that is having the structure exactly similar to that of the human brain. The weight of the average human brain is approximately 1200 to 1500 gram of the weight. This is according to the body weight. It is around 2% of the body weight, but it consumes 20% of the body energy. And in fact, a large amount of oxygen is required by the brain. You know that if our brain is not getting oxygen for 3 minutes, the person can go into coma. So it is oxygen consuming organ of the body. The brain can be divided into three parts: forebrain, midbrain, and the hindbrain. Forebrain, this is the largest part of the body. In fact, 75% of the human brain is the forebrain. And midbrain, a very small part of the brain, it connects forebrain to the hindbrain. And hindbrain, this is a small structure, and this can be compared to the animal brain. Now let us come to the forebrain. Our forebrain is prominently having three parts: cerebrum, thalamus, and hypothalamus. Now look at this structure. Now let us draw cerebrum in this. Cerebrum is a highly convoluted part. Now, why there are so many convolution in this? It is so that many neurons, they can be accommodated in this structure. Our brain is having gray matter on the outer side and the white matter on the inner side. On the other hand, in spinal cord, it is reversed. Spinal cord is having gray matter on the inner side and white matter on the outer side. Now, what is gray matter and what is white matter? Gray matter is that area where most of the cell bodies of the neuron is present, and white area where the axon is present, and because of the sheath, myelin sheath, it is giving the white color. That is why this is known as the white matter. Gray matter is directly referred to as the intelligence of the person. More gray matter is there, more intelligent is a person. Now this cerebrum is most advanced in human. This is most evolved in human. Otherwise, rest of the brain can be compared to the animal brain, but this is the part that is highly evolved here. Now this part of the brain, the cerebrum brain, this is controlling all the function related to the intelligence: abstract thinking, observation, analysis, mathematical calculation, art. All these functions, they are controlled by the cerebrum. Our cerebrum is divided into two halves, this and this, right and the left cerebrum, and these two parts, they are connected to each other. Beside that, our cerebrum, this is also having the coordinating center for the sight, smell, taste, right? And our memory is also controlled by the forebrain. Beside forebrain, beside this cerebrum, our forebrain, it also includes thalamus and hypothalamus. This is hypothalamus. This part we have just done. This is cerebrum, and above this is hypothalamus. Thalamus and hypothalamus, collectively these are also known as diencephalon. And these two parts, they control hunger, thirst, anger, emotions of the body. Hypothalamus, this is also considered as a neuroendocrine structure because it is secreting many chemicals also. So this is a part of the chemical coordination also. Now the third part is olfactory lobe. These olfactory lobe, these control the smell coordinating center of the body. Now we move to the midbrain. Midbrain, this is a very small part, just now I said. So this part is the midbrain. This is midbrain. Now midbrain, this is having certain coordinating center for the visual and the auditory stimuli. One thing more, midbrain, this also controls the size of the pupil during reflex action, and shape of the eyelids, that is also controlled by the midbrain. Now comes the hindbrain. This is having three parts: cerebellum, pons, and the medulla, and this is also known as the medulla oblongata. Now, cerebellum, this is just a part like the cerebrum having many convolution here. This is cerebellum. The other part of the hindbrain, pons, and this is medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata, this continue as spinal cord. Right? So I said that cerebellum, pons, and medulla oblongata. These are the three parts of the hindbrain. Now let us see the function performed by these parts of the brain. Now look at this. Cerebellum. Cerebellum, it controls all balancing function of the body. Wherever we need to maintain the balance, for example, say walking, swimming, dancing. So in this, cerebellum is in. Pons. Pons is responsible for controlling the breathing rate. Our normal breathing rate, we have already discussed, is 12 breaths per minute. It may increase or may decrease depending on the situation. So again, that is controlled by the pons. Medulla oblongata, most of the body physiological functions, these are controlled by the medulla oblongata. Again, breathing rate in certain situation is also controlled by medulla oblongata. Our heartbeat, our blood pressure, these are also controlled by the vomiting sensation, controlled by the medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata, this continue as the spinal cord that runs throughout the vertebral column. Medulla oblongata, I just said that this is the part of the brain that continue with the spinal cord. Spinal cord is present on the dorsal side of the body. You know, we have the two sides of the body. One is called dorsal and another is called ventral. This is our ventral side and this is our dorsal side. So spinal cord, this is present on the dorsal side of the body. Our brain is also having a very important endocrine gland. The name of that gland is pituitary gland. This is pituitary gland here. Pituitary gland, this plays very important role in chemical coordination. So its role we will study in detail in chemical coordination. So we just have a recap of the brain. That brain is divided into three parts: forebrain, midbrain, and the hindbrain. Forebrain, this is further divided into three parts. These three parts are cerebrum, thalamus and hypothalamus, and the olfactory lobe. Then we have a very small midbrain, and then we are having the hindbrain that is further divided into three parts, that is cerebellum, pons, and medulla oblongata. Thank you.